The IRS has just announced, do not wait on Congress to file your taxes. We've received word that tons of money could be going back to the American people in the form of child tax credits, business tax credits, an assortment of different ones in a piece of legislation they are trying to pass right now. And don't be surprised to hear that money could be coming your way. It is an election year. Now, take a look at the headlines coming out in the last 24 hours. Child tax credit could change, but don't wait on Congress to file your taxes, IRS commissioner says. Congress is still negotiating a $78 billion tax package with retroactive changes, so this will be applied to the taxes you are filing for right now, including a boost for the child tax credit. If enacted, the child tax credit changes. They could affect 2023 filings this season, but taxpayers should not wait to file their returns, the IRS commissioner says. By law, filers claiming the child tax credit or the earned income tax credit, which is known as the adult tax credit or the EITC, they won't receive their refunds until February 27th at the earliest as well, according to the IRS. Now, take a look here. House to vote on the bipartisan tax bill that would expand the child tax credits. That's going to be happening this week. I'm going to give you more information, but the $78 billion tax package called the Tax Relief for American Families and Workers Act of 2024 would increase the child tax credit, restore critical research and development deductions. It includes new low-income housing tax credits, a disaster tax relief, and tax benefits for Taiwan. If passed, the changes would be in effect through 2025. When the previous Republican tax credits expire, these would also be applied retroactively for 2023, and this means millions of Americans will be seeing more money in their pockets this tax season. And again, why are we receiving money from Congress? Why are they remembering the American people? Well, do remember, it is an election year, and they're going to want you to remember them as you go to the polls to vote for who is going to stay in positions of power and who will not. Now, in addition to that, I've shared with you everything that you need to know for the 2024 filing for 2023. I've covered it in detail. Be sure to stick around to the end for some more information on that as well. Now, I'm going to be putting these articles linked in the description on the screen and reading right from them so that way you can see it for yourself, getting you caught up on the latest coming out in the last 24 hours with taxes, the IRS, and more money coming your way. Now, let's go ahead and dive right in, but before we do me a quick favor. If you appreciate the updates, don't forget, take a quick second, hit that like button for me, hit the subscribe button to stay up to date, totally free, why not? And also to stay connected off of social media platforms, consider joining the newsletter at www.steveramnews.com. And with that being said, let's go ahead and dive right in. Alright, so first let's take a look at the child tax credit, and then we'll take a look at the bill as a whole and what Congress plans to do here in just a second. But this article says the child tax credit could change, but don't wait on Congress to file your taxes, the IRS commissioner has said. As the tax season kicks off, Congress is still negotiating a $78 billion tax package with retroactive changes, including a boost for the child tax credit. If enacted, the child tax credit changes could affect 2023 filings this season, but taxpayers should not wait to file, according to the IRS. We urge and encourage taxpayers to file when they're ready. IRS Commissioner Danny Warfeld told reporters Friday during a press call, don't wait on Congress. If enacted, the child tax credit changes could expand access, increase the refundable portion of the tax break, and add future inflation adjustments. Eligible families stand to receive an average tax cut of $680 for 2023, according to the estimate from the Urban Brookings Tax Policy Center. But the bill's path forward remains unclear. During a Squawk Box appearance on Tuesday, House Ways and Means Committee Chairman Jason Smith said that he expects a House vote on the tax bill in the next couple of days. But we've got some updates on that. But there's still pushback from House Republicans who want relief for the $10,000 cap on the federal deductions for state and local taxes known as SALT. How to handle retroactive child tax credit changes. Meanwhile, there are lingering questions from tax professionals about how to handle possible tax law changes for 2023, especially for those who file early. It would be a waste of time to file your return and then find out that you're entitled to a bigger tax credit and you have to do an amendment, said Bill Smith, National Director of the Tax Technical Services at financial services firm CBiz MHM. While questions remain, Warfeld provided some clarity on Friday, noting that the agency has deep experience in assessing and reviewing retroactive tax law changes. If there's a change that impacts your return, we will make the change, and we will send you the update. whether it's additional refunds or otherwise, without you having to take any additional steps, Warfield told reporters during a press call. However, the originally filed tax returns must be accurate, he added. A press release from the House of Ways and Means Republicans on Friday said the IRS has already confirmed plans to make necessary system updates by around 6 weeks after the date of enactment if Congress approves the tax package. By law, filers claiming the child tax credit or the EITC earned income tax credit won't receive their refunds until February 27th at the earliest. Now, this coming out today with more updated information as the House will vote on a bipartisan tax bill that would expand the child tax credits. The tax package would increase the child tax credit and restore other deductions. After long negotiations, the House is set to vote Wednesday tonight on a bipartisan tax bill that would enhance a popular child tax credit to benefit millions of American families. So this is actually going to be happening today. Now, we will see then if it moves on to the Senate and the president's desk, but I will keep you up to date on this. The $78 billion tax package, as we read, will impact an assortment of different taxes. It will be retroactive from 2023 and it will be applicable through 2025. Despite overwhelming support for the bipartisan bill in the House, there are still several issues lawmakers have with the legislation, including the child tax credit and the state and local tax deductions. Several New York Republicans were angered that the tax bill does not have state and local tax deduction limits, also known as SALT provisions. This is a top priority for New York lawmakers. Speaker Mike Johnson met with the group late Tuesday to discuss SALT provisions, so this took place yesterday evening. Meanwhile, several conservatives, including members of the far-right House Freedom Caucus, criticized the bill for expanding the child tax credit. Many liberal Democrats will vote against the bill because they argue the bill does not expand the child tax credits enough. And I shared with you the details of what is included in the expansion. I'll be sharing that with you here in just a second as well. Clearly, not all lawmakers will get what they want. However, this legislation, if passed in the House, would be a rare bipartisan win. And again, why are they working together, providing more money to the American people? Well, as I mentioned, it is an election year, and they want you to remember that you are receiving money from them right before you hit the polls. Now, the tax bill was negotiated by Senate Finance Committee Chair Ron Wyden of Oregon and House Ways Means Committee Chair Jason Smith of Missouri. It passed with bipartisan support out of the House and Ways Committee on January 19th. The vote with the GOP whip Tom Emmer, set for 8 p.m., will be fast-tracked and voted on under suspension of the rules while requiring 2/3 of a vote to pass. The bill's fate is uncertain in the Senate. So again, a lot of people could be receiving a lot of money, and originally we had heard to hold off and wait until this piece of legislation passed because you didn't want to have to file an amendment. But now the IRS commissioner coming out and saying, no, go ahead, file your taxes if this passes. And there are major changes to the amount of refunds that people will receive, which literally millions of people could get a whole lot more money. Well, they're saying they will make the adjustments on their end. You can go ahead and file. You will not be required to do anything else. Now, in addition to that, as I mentioned, what is going to be included in the child tax credit? How much will you get? Who is eligible? And also, what are all the things that you need to know regarding changes for these tax filings you need to do for 2024 for tax year 2023? Well, to get caught up on the latest information on that, be sure to check out these videos right here next as I covered them in detail for you. So be sure to check those out. And that is the latest information coming out from the IRS. But with that being said, you guys, thank you so much for joining me. I will keep you up to date as more information rolls out, and I'll catch you in the next video. Take care. God bless. This is Steve.